Ladies, U.S. Soccer women's national team is playing against China and Jamaica this weekend, but there's a lot of new faces in camp. We're still trying to figure out who the starting goalkeeper is. There's a lot open for the women's national team. So let's go through our projected ideal starting 11s. And McCauley, let's start with you. Who you got?
Let's do it, babes. So starting, I had Fallon in goal. We've talked about how we just need to lean into a goalkeeper and give her lots of minutes and experience. Everyone was highly impressed with her in the last competitions versus Brazil. Let's see what else she can do. We've only seen her for one match. Crystal Dunn, solid A1 outside left back. Need that experience. Sonnet, Girma, Fox. Coffee sitting in the lowest position in the midfield. Heaps to connect as the 8. Setnor up top in the upside down diamond in the midfield. And then I like Sears on the right because she is right-footed as well as Alyssa Thompson, but she drives to the end line a little bit more so she can use those cutbacks with her right foot, whereas Alyssa Thompson, she'll cut in for the shot with her right foot. And then Macario holding it down in the 9.
Oh, I like this. Can I ask about Setnor? Do you prefer her as that 10?
The reason I like her is because she's good on the dribble. And I think Lily Johannes is also good on the dribble, but she's not as explosive and dynamic and elastic. She's not going to push it by you, whereas Setnor has an ability to break lines on the dribble. And I think that's going to be a really key piece for our underbelly to link up with Macario and possibly play balls in behind to Alyssa Thompson and Sears.
And you like Heaps being a little bit lower too.
Yeah, I don't think she's 10 status anymore. I think, she's very good on the ball. But again, that agility to break in behind 1v1 against their lowest 6 isn't her anymore, which is fine. So let's leave that to Setnor.
I like it. Mine's pretty different. But Jen, I'm going to have you go next. Yeah, I think I definitely did like who I want to see, not what I actually think will happen.
I love that because I'm glad you went down that route because I was thinking, okay, mine's like 2 changes from McCall one, I think. Yeah, I definitely had Johannes in midfield. I think she's been unbelievable to watch. I think her performances at top level, still being so inexperienced, but not showing any of that. So that was my one difference in midfield. I love when she drops in front of the back 2. Obviously, Naomi Girma back in the starting 11, I think has to happen. So happy for her being back fully fit. So yeah, my back 4, my goalkeeper wasn't any different. I had Alyssa Thompson in there. I just think her performances against Brazil, I thought was brilliant. And again, on the dribble, kind of similar to what McCall was saying. So yeah, I only had 2 major changes. Obviously, Setnor I'd probably put as a 9 and Macario on the wing side. But Lily Johannes, for me, she's been such a standout. And for still to be so young, I can't wait to see how her career kind of goes on in the next couple of seasons and what she achieves because she has genuinely been unbelievable to watch.
Wait, explain why you have Girma on the left and Sonnet on the right, like with their strengths and weaknesses, or what are you imagining there?
I think Sonnet's more comfortable on the right. I think she's and then Girma's pace covers more on the left-hand side with I know Dunna's unbelievable pace as well, but they're interchangeable. I think they're both covered on either side, but I think for me, Sonnet looks more comfortable on the right-hand side, especially with Emily Fox next there.
Well, you would know. You're the expert back there.
You're right.
Barely.
Our resident defender. Would you both, so McCall, you'd prefer Setnor in the midfield because of her dribbling ability, but Jen, you'd prefer Lily Johannes in the midfield because of her passing dynamism, right?
Passing for sure, yeah. Passing, Lily Johannes, when I watch her pick up the ball, that pass she plays from picking up the centre of the pitch, the passes she makes in between the outside back and the centre back are just, it's one of the hardest balls to play because one, you have to get the pace spot on, the accuracy of it has to be perfect. And from a defender's perspective, it's one of the hardest things to defend. Who covers it? A centre back or a tracking back midfielder from your opposition? So for me, that technical ability, I've seen her do it so many times, and it's the hardest pass to execute, and she's already doing it at such a young age. So yeah, for me, technical ability, passes in the forward third, unbelievable.
I would agree. For a youngster, she has really good vision, high class for how old she is.
Yeah, I agree. Well, she's not in mine, sadly, and I'm kind of second guessing it. But Mark, let's throw up my starting 11. Yeah, I went a different route. I have Patterson starting on the right. I'm thinking, hey, Fox has been just won a Champions League. She's balling out. We know that she has that position. Let's see who else. And Avery Patterson, to me, has just been stellar. Rookie from Houston. I think she's been such a standout. I have Girma and Sonnet, which now I'm thinking, dang, do I switch them? Because Jen said to switch them. But let's just keep them. Crystal Dunn on the left, because I don't think anybody can replace Crystal Dunn, quite frankly. She's a player to me that gets better with age. At this double six, I have LaBonta and Coffee. Lo, to me, is a player that adds such a different wrinkle to that sixth position because she has the passing ability and the vision, but she also likes to dribble. I think that takes a little bit of load off of Lindsay Heaps and what maybe U.S. soccer has always expected her to do. And LaBonta isn't afraid to go forward, and she's not afraid to try to score a banger every once in a while. And I think that sixth position needs that. I think it'll push Coffee a little bit more. On the right, I have Michelle Cooper. I think she's been called into camp a couple of times. She deserves a start. Let her come off at the first minute, and let's see how she turns teams around, how she gets end line. She's been working on that crossing ability. We all had Macario and Thompson on the left, and in the center, I think that doesn't even need to be explained. Macario's just been, I think, incredible. I like what she offers in that 9 position. It's different than we've seen in a really long time. And Alyssa Thompson deserves to start every game, in my opinion. I think she's been one of the best forwards with the U.S. The last few months, and let alone in the NWSL. She's just balling out. But let me know where are the holes in my lineup, because I know.
Okay, but did y'all think about the opponent, or did you just put out what you would like to see? Because
I thought about the opponent.
I have Lo starting against Jamaica because she's more of that player that can give that brute and that physicality and competitive and tackles and stuff against the Jamaican side.
I like that, but I also see her being against another really highly technical team, being able to weave in and out and use her dribbling that I think we don't always get from Sam Coffey. I think it's really rare when we get that from Coffey, and the way that they might balance each other out could be interesting.
I do love the idea of starting LaBonta though, and in terms of just it's deep end, right? It's your first camp. You have to test players, and like, of course, you could wait until the Jamaica game, but I love the idea of starting a player. I think it's so hard to come into a game on your first camp, first call up, and getting 10, 20, 30 minutes. And I think Emma Hayes loves to just start players, throw them in at the deep end, say what you got, and I think she'll thrive in that. I think Kerry kind of summed it up perfectly. She seems to be thriving at senior age, coming into camp. She can handle that kind of pressure. So I love the idea of starting her and kind of throwing her in that sense.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, for you two, would you rather be a sub, say, for 15 minutes, or would you rather just be called in your first time to camp and get a start?
On a first camp?
First camp.
First cap.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know if I'd want to start. Yeah, I think I'd like a little 30-minute appearance just to find your feet, right? I think especially, I don't know actually, maybe as a centre back, I'd want to start the game. Obviously, they're never going to substitute a centre back coming into it. In my heyday, though, I was a striker. Wasn't sure.
Hey, we've got some clips of you scoring.
Throw me off the bench and strike. But yeah, I think just in terms of inexperience, I would want like a 30-minute, 20-minute, just as a starter pack. I think to start a game now on your first camp as a kid is hard. But Lo's not a kid, so she can handle that pressure.
Yeah. McCall?
I would for sure like to work into it just because I wouldn't want to let anybody down. And so I just wanted to make sure I was as much prepared as possible. But it also depends on the camp, because if it was January camp and I had like 2 or 3 weeks to train with the team before our first match, then for sure. But like camps like this, when you're in the midst of the NWSL, you really only go 3, maximum 4 days early. 1 day's off, 2 days you train, and then all of a sudden you wake up, it's match day -1. So yeah.
Screw it. Put me in. Hey, there's no expectations on me. Yeah, give me 70 minutes. Let's go.
We want to start.
Yeah, why not? I feel like
I love it.
Especially in your first camp, it's like there's no real expectation. I'm just gonna grow from whatever happens on the pitch right now. So,
I think also
forward. Let me go at them.
Yeah,
why not?
I think also in terms, because you never know. Say if it's your first cap, right? You never know how it's going to go. So I guess if you start, you get the experience of walking out with the team, having the whole experience, singing the anthem. You get that experience. Like, so it might be your first. You might go on to get over 100. You never know. There's no plan. There's no expectation on this. So I guess having that experience, like, that gives me goosebumps actually thinking about it. That's what. Yeah, no, it's right. That's unbelievable. So yeah, I get that perspective. Back yourself, Darian. I love it.
Hell yeah. I try, even if I'm faking it, which I probably would be if I got to start. Emma Hayes, if you know something happens, you ever want to call a retired player up? I'm not afraid. JK, I am.